Hello coaches, thanks for joining me for another World Cup breakdown. My favourite team, Brazil, in action yesterday against Serbia. Really difficult first half for them. Serbia were absolutely fantastic. Dragan Stojkovic, coach there. Any retro soccer fan will know him very well. Star of Italia 90. Stojkovic was different class. Serbia set up really well, but Brazil were outstanding second half. What was the difference between the first half and the second half? Let's have a look. Let's see what changed with Brazil's system. What did Tichy do at halftime that opened up the game? We'll take a look at that there. Before we start, today's special offer, Black Friday special, a modern soccer coach, 40% off, books, webinars, anything on the website. Get yourself over, modernsoccercoach.com/shop, 40% off on the link below, modernsoccercoach.com/shop. Okay, Brazil, let's take a look at them. So Brazil set up in a 4-2-3-1, but with Neymar floating around the front line with Richarlison, it looked like a 4-4-2. Serbia set themselves up in a 5-4-1 type situation, but what was really interesting was they knew Neymar was going to drop into that space on the left side between the lines. So what Serbia did was they put the numbers around that area and they used their centre forward Mitrovic to sit on the right centre-back Marquinhos. So Brazil, let Thiago Silva have it, show everything to the left side. Even though Neymar's over there, show everything over to the left side. You've got the numbers over there. And then when the ball's played into Neymar and he drops off the line and it's played into Neymar, Vinicius Jr., whoever it is on the left, Serbia were really aggressive with their pressure, really good. And it frustrated Brazil for a lot of the first half. I thought it was really interesting at halftime. Some of the commentators in the studio were saying, well, they need to change the system. The other commentators were saying, well, they need to change the personnel. They've got some brilliant players on the bench. Brazil are so good, not just in terms of depth, but in terms of quality, that they didn't change the system, nor they changed the personnel. They just changed the role of one player, and that player was Neymar, who we all know can change a game. But what was really interesting in the second half was where Neymar went, and because he's such an influential player, how Serbia reacted to that and what that opened up for Brazil to generate more attacking opportunities and invariably win the game. Here's what they did. So because Serbia played with three players at the back, when Neymar dropped off in the first half, one could follow into that midfield space and be really aggressive. But in the second half, Neymar dropped beyond the midfield line and he even dropped into the back four area where the fullback was. And now you've got a centre-back saying, should I go there, should I not go there? But once they start passing people on, which happened here, when Neymar drops alongside the fullback, now players have to start stepping. So does that hurt Serbia right away? No. But what it does to their system is it means that they have to shift another player into that space, which overloads Serbia defensively and opens up the weak side. So a passing lane opens up for Neymar to drop it in. They've got an up, back and through option or whatever it is to switch the play. But now you're playing on the other side and you can get Rafinha, who is a 1v1 opportunity. That was one of the ways Brazil opened up the game in the second half. Drop Neymar deeper, use a passing lane to open up the ball into Richarlison, and then look to switch the play into Rafinha in a 1v1. Another opportunity or picture that opens up for Brazil is that if Neymar's dropped further back and he's got time and space, he can actually dribble and he can combine in shorter spaces. That's probably unlike another attacking option. But what you also have is you've got a structure underneath Neymar, which Brazil are really strong and athletic. So if the ball does turn over, they've got players underneath the ball that can transition. If you look at Brazil's first goal that Richarlison scored, it was set up by Vinicius Jr., who was played by Neymar, who received the ball in transition, which got him a bit more time and space than he would have had in a traditional build. So those moments where a team has to shift, Brazil are really good at counter-pressing, getting that ball back. It also opens up a little bit of time and space for people like Neymar who reposition themselves in the transition. So not only are they dropping and changing their position in the first phase, Neymar, he's also harder to pick up in moments of transition, which then can give him time and space. And as the first goal showed, can get him in the final third in a 1v1 or a 2v2 situation. And Brazil are so good in those moments. Another interesting thing that Tichy done at halftime was because Mitrovic was sitting on Marquinhos and Thiago Silva had time and space, they changed the role of their double sixes. So Thiago Silva could dribble in to an advanced position. Danilo, the right back, who was redundant in the first half, came inside and they created two sixes. Now, what that does as well is that then allowed their two sixes, or their 6 and their 8, to push further forward, engage the Serbian back line and their defensive midfielders, and then change the role for Neymar to pop out into different spaces. Created passing lanes for Brazil into those front players. They are so good in 1v1 situations, but they're also so good in 1v3 situations, because when you draw opponents around the ball, they can flick, they can turn, they can maneuver space, and they can find players who are isolated in other areas of the pitch that can score. In the last 20 minutes, Brazil had more time and space than they had in the first half. A lot of that was down to moving those central midfielders, creating those passing lane. Again, good transitioning, and then Serbia having to cover an awful lot of ground from right to left and back to their own goal. So there we have it. Similar to yesterday's breakdown with Luis Enrique. If you want to keep up to date with these breakdowns, press subscribe below, press like below, keep updated with them. But similar to that, there's so much that these teams can do. So we talk about finding a way to win. Sometimes as coaches, Brazil can find a way to win by changing the personnel. They can find a way to win by changing the system. They haven't done it yet. They can find a way to win by changing the role of the individual in the system. And to me, that's next level stuff, because when you're on the other side of that there, Serbia were so good in the first half. Imagine going in at half-time in that game as a Serbian coach or a Serbia player and thinking, we've done really, really well there. And Brazil come out and just give you a completely different picture with the front three the way they have, with the team that's so athletic that can counter-press. It just must be a long, long 45 minutes, that second 45 minutes for them. But really, really interesting. Again, similar to Spain, these teams are going to throw so many different pictures at the top teams during a World Cup. I cannot wait to see what happens in the next game against Switzerland, because they'll throw something different at them as well. And I think it's really, really interesting in all these World Cup games, the amount of problems tactically the teams have to solve and come up with in real time is just unbelievable. Such a difficult skill, something we should talk a little bit more about. Maybe we'll get into it as the World Cup goes on. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe below. Please keep up to date with it. Thanks so much for your support. If you want to support the work and you want some more coaching resources, please head over to modernsoccercoach.com/shop, especially in the next 24 hours. Take advantage of the Black Friday special. Thanks so much. See you soon.